Thompson was he, and farmer he be, but of a height of twice my knee. What lacked he in height he made up for in might, a fool but would reckon with he. The call of a raven before their new haven startled them into awareness. The year 326 found Jenna's dire fix before Ashton's west gate, in all fairness. Darkwater Inn, debauchery and sin, synonymous were they, what rabble went in. Yet here they would pass the day to the last, amidst all the ruckus and din. Jenna did call an empty mare's stall, donning a burlap grain sack. Dress finer would she and later be seen, for pursage Fred presently did lack. At 9:15 a dwarf came to dine, from the mountains up north to be sure, not wanting to ask what crusted that axe, or of hardship so great to endure. A king's son was he, though not king to be. From father's halls was he spurned, cast out on a whim, unneeded he'd been, his fortune his own to be earned. Though gold he did crave, infrequently he bathed, his demeanor was far less than rosy. Grumpy for loot and stinky to boot, the bugs in his beard appeared cozy. Fast friendships were made as tabs yet unpaid demanded attention and were soon addressed. In came a warning as night turned to morning, a farmer and somewhat distressed. My sheep, they were taken, and be not mistaken, for I know where my sheep have been going. Goblins, I reckon this town needs protectin', and goblins were they to be knowing. For goblins Fred hated, they're so overrated, for who can I trust on this errand? I'll need but a few, strong-willed ones will do, lest our town and fields become barren. Drink up tonight, we'll leave at first light, the clamor dismissed with a wave. If well all does go, I'll stick them on poles, around my sheep there'll be none so brave. Jenna was led upstairs to her bed by Fred and by Mithrax the dwarf. Return I will later, let not them berate her, be careful and board you the door. A thief in the night came after midnight, waking the girl and the dwarf, who ran him out rightly, then left to what might be a safer alternative recourse. The good Thompson's Inn down further had been, where inside they found again Fred, for not had they known that this inn he owned, with family who he somewhat led. Amber was small, of course she knew all, and had many a cousin to call. A real social queen, she always was seen as generous and loved most by all. To Fred she was cousin, removed by a dozen, of dread he was gone out of town. Off to Drakmar, which wasn't too far, for seed nigh well to be sown. Edgar came next, and he ran the desk, with Elmo in charge of the door. Eli drew baggage of horse and of carriage, porter and groom of a sort. Fred, second oldest, in business was boldest, not much for the life of adventure. He ran the town when Fred wasn't around, worked he like a servant indenture. The baron uptown most likely would frown, knew he of the Thompsons and Inn. By name did he rule, though weak and a fool, nephew to the Duke had he been. Rich from the trade pertaining to slaves, for the Duke's hands a washbowl was he, one to be feared when foes disappeared, the Duke had no enemies to see. A would-be fell tyrant related to pirates of Black Lake and the great inland sea. His daughter was round, no suitor to be found, the name of some flower had she. Catania was fair, ebony long hair, ill-tempered like a rabid wolf. A dragon's heart had she, cold and dark if need be. Accept it, and don't ask for proof. Claudia was bold and very, very old, to her kin long lives were endowed. Yet youthful to see, sorceress she be, nothing lost need ever be found. New to her craft with shiny new staff, as babysitting was just not her thing. On babes she would cast spells to make them sit fast, less trouble this way would they bring. Esmeralda was seen as not quite as mean as her father the barbarian king. Horned helmet she wore, bit hard to ignore, in mail she was clad made of rings. Of Suttonheld was she, the land of the free, as long as the tariff was paid, or the sheriff got laid. Of Yakko, her dad, he wasn't so bad, as long as no errors were made. Kitanya was bad, for friends she was glad, to end fights for which she was renowned. Child of the highway, roadside and byway, atop dung in a cart was she found.